Hello Bulldog fans, today on Bryant SportsCenter we've got the men taking on Central Connecticut State University, hockey teams taking on Merrimack, and then we've got Jordan Brown of the football team coming in for the interview. Bryant SportsCenter, here we go. Hi, and welcome to Bryant SportsCenter. I'm Alex Carver.
And I'm Frank Lavera.
You know, it was a tough week in sports this week, a little rough patch for the basketball teams, but...
Yeah, the men's basketball team, they went winless this week, but on a bright note, they did open conference play and had their season opener against Central Connecticut State.
Yeah, it was nice to see them play at home, and on the bright side, we've got some winter sports open up for play, and like the swimming team, which we'll start off with today. And first, some news from the swimming team. 3 members of the Bryant University swimming teams had the opportunity to compete in the U.S. Nationals held in Atlanta, Georgia this past week. Senior Alex Kaczynski, junior Casey Ostringer, and sophomore Taylor DeBeaver all met qualification times over the past year in order to compete in the meet.
The Bryant men and women's swimming team returned to the pool after a 2-week rest for the 16th annual Harold Anderson Invitational at the URI last weekend. URI hosted several universities for this 2-day event. The hosting Rams have won the Invitational every year since 2007. For the Bulldogs, this was the men's final competition of the semester, and the women will head down to Kingston to battle the URI Rams in a dual meet. Sophomore Nicholas Karadimas had a big day in the pool, winning both the 50 and 100-meter freestyle while anchoring a team of Bulldogs to victory in the 200 freestyle relay. For the Lady Bulldogs, Molly Smith ripped her way to victory in the 400 individual medley and finished second in the 200-meter breaststroke.
On December 1st, the men's basketball team took on Northeast Conference foe Central Connecticut State University in the conference opener for both teams. This game was the first opportunity for the Bulldogs to play at home this year after starting the season on a 6-game road trip. The team then went on to face NEC rival Quinnipiac on the road. Now let's look at the highlights. Getting ready for tip-off at the Chase Athletic Center, taking on Central Connecticut State University. We'll take it to the first half. The Bulldogs were down early in this one thanks to Ken Horton, forward from Central Connecticut State University, who was lighting it up from downtown. There you see him hitting one, but he wasn't done there because he was absolutely on fire from behind the arc tonight as he knocks down another one. The Central jumped out to a 13-0 lead. Bryant needs to respond, show some good passing here, and 3-ball corner pocket by Corey Maynard as Bryant gets on the board. Later in the first, Frankie Dobbs with a nice drive and pull-up shot for 2. Later in the game, Bryant within 10, but then Joe Efesi bringing it inside, and wham, bam, thank you, man. And another 3 by Kyle Vanalis as Central begins to pull away in the game. But Alex Franks is not going down without a fight as he drives through the lane, count it, and 1. We'll bring it to the second half as Bryant is still struggling to contain the 3-point shot from Central, as Bobby Potasic from outside hits it. Then later, David Simmons fighting for the rebound, kicking it inside for the nice putback. And then later, Raphael Jordan spots up from the 3, and that looks good from here. Nice shot. But the story of the game was Ken Horton, this time driving through the lane for the 2. But the kid's got game from behind the arc as well, as you see him spotting up there, knocking down the 3. Later in the second half, David Simmons hits the fadeaway to put the Blue Devils up by nearly 30. As the game's winding down, nice pass inside, and Vlad with the pretty reverse layup. But CCSU will go on to win this one by a score of 83-51. Ken Horton leads Central and the game with 32 points. The Blue Devils absolutely stunning from behind the arc, hitting 13 threes in the game. Maynard, Francis, and Dobbs each chipped in 12 for the Bulldogs.
The men's basketball team was unable to secure their first conference win of the season against Quinnipiac earlier this week. The Bulldogs shot well from beyond the arc, sinking 52.2% of 3-point shots. Forward Alex Francis put up 18 points and had a good game on the boards, bringing in 8 rebounds. Sophomore guard Corey Maynard also recorded 18 points and 6 assists for the Bulldogs and was on fire from 3-point land, dropping 6 of 10 shots. Frankie Dobbs also had a big game with 14 points and spraying the ball for 7 assists. For the Quinnipiac Bobcats, Jamie Jackson had game highs with 21 points and 9 boards. He was one of 4 Bobcats with double digits in the points column. James Johnson dropped 17 for Quinnipiac, while Dave Johnson and Ike Azata each recorded 11.
On November 30th, the women's basketball team faced the University of Rhode Island Rams at home in a battle between Ocean State teams. The team then opened up Northeast Conference play on the road at Quinnipiac. Let's look at the game versus URI. Getting ready to take on the Lady Rams in this one, the Chase Athletic Center. First half action. Bryant got down early in this one, but luckily Katie Whittington was there, spotting up for the 3 early on, tying the game up. But she wasn't done there, as she spots up from way downtown to put Bryant up in this one. But URI staying with it, though. Ashley Rivera dishing it inside for the nice layup. Good play there. Bryant on offense then. Meredith Sopper spotting up in the corner, putting up the 3, and it looks good from here. Later in the quarter, Steph Cardamom putting it in. And then later in the quarter, Steph Cardamom making it look easy for 2. Let's take a look at the second half. Katie Whittington driving down the court, some nice dribbling, and then an Iron Chef dish to Danielle Douglas for the nice layup. And then later in the half, Nana Ankoma Mensa hitting the shot and the foul. Bulldogs up 21. URI isn't out of it yet, though. Sherry Sessions making a call to the bank, and it's open till 3. Later, Ashley Rivera knocks it down with a little help from the rim, bouncing it in there, getting a little lucky. Rivera then goes on to knock down a 3 to bring URI within 12 of the Bulldogs. Later in the half, though, defense, that's why you play with your hands up. Steph Cardamom taking it coast to coast, putting it up, and Coma Mensa there for the putback after the missed layup, and Bryant wouldn't look back in this one, winning the game 75-62. Soper and Whittington dominating the game as the Lady Bulldogs start the season with the best 6-game start since going Division I.
The women's basketball team also traveled to Quinnipiac to take on the Bobcats in their NEC opener, but also fell short of victory. 27 turnovers crippled the Lady Bulldogs and quite probably led to their defeat. Nana Akoma Mensa recorded 15 points and 15 rebounds for a double-double. Another double-double was recorded by Meredith Soper with 14 in both categories. For Quinnipiac, Brittany McQueen put up 11 points and 11 boards for her Bobcats. Felicia Barron was an absolute thief on the court, recording 12 steals on her way to 16 points. Coming off the bench, Jasmine Martin dropped 9 of 17 buckets for a game-high 18 points.
The Bryant men's and women's track and field team had its first meet of the year December 3rd at the Alden Invitational at Brown University. The men did well, particularly in the mile run, as Scott Teradowski, David Hurley, Christopher Chipra, Blake Fenwick, and Francis Foley finished in the top 5 spots in a dominating performance. On the women's team, freshman Jasmine Bryant set a program record in the 55-meter hurdles, finishing 3rd in the event. Bryant, Jasmine that is, would also go on to win the triple jump with a distance of 10.77 meters. The track and field team will wrap up their first semester action on December 10th when they travel to compete in the Harvard University Invitational.
The ice hockey team has got off to a good start, posting an 8-5-1 record through the first part of the season. This week they hosted Merrimack, so let's take a look at some of the highlights. Let's head down to the ice for some hockey highlights. Merrimack coming down the Smithfield ice rink to take on the Bulldogs, who just dropped a 2-1 loss to Siena. Early in the first period, Joshua Fator slaps it in from the blue line. It's going to get redirected into the net by Harry Jakewith, and the Bryant Bulldogs will take a 1-0 lead. Later on in the period, 2 Bulldogs will go behind the net and collide with each other, upending one player. Hopefully no one was hurt in the little collision. Slapped in by Eddie McCarthy, and that's a goal. Bryant goes up 2-0. Let's head to the second period. Bryant will open up the period on a 5-on-3 power play. 2 men in the sin bin. Nice shot from number 4, but his glove saved by senior goalie Ryan Fullerton. Later on in the period, it will be put in front for the scrum in front of the net, but it's cleaned up by Trevor DeVito. Bryant goes up by 3. Later in the period, Harry Jakewith drives, puts it in perfect position for Jerry Thaler, who finishes up the play. Bryant goes up 4-0. Third period, Ryan Fullerton facing what looks to be like a penalty shot, but he stops it, driving him away. Excellent play by Ryan Fullerton. Later on in the period, knocked down and put in by Merrimack. Merrimack gets on the board for the first time. Erases a shutout host. Merrimack again, nice execution, finds his man, and they hook up for another goal. 2 unanswered goals by Merrimack. Later on, perfect execution, centered play. Mike Brown slaps it in for the final goal of the game. That's 5-2 Bryant. You see Gino Davilio for Merrimack, 44 saves. Jonathan Kane with a goal. Mike Tavares also posting a goal. For the Bulldogs, senior goalie and club president Ryan Fullerton recorded 27 saves. Harry Jakewith, 2 points with the goal and the assist. And 2 assists from Kevin Demers.
Now Nolan Thompson with an interesting story about the baseball team and some charity work that they've been doing.
Hi, I'm Nolan Thompson from Bryant SportsCenter, and today the baseball team takes a stance against cancer as they look to raise money by shaving their heads here in the Rotunda. The Bryant baseball team started their off-season by winning the Fall World Series. But winning baseball games isn't the only thing bringing the team together. The entire team pledged to shave their heads in an effort to raise money for St. Baldrick's Foundation this year.
The whole team is getting their head shaved. Every single person on the team was asked to send emails out to family and friends, and we raised over $2,600, and donations are still coming in.
There's schools across the country that do these kind of things for children's foundations, and we're just real proud to be part of, a bigger thing.
The St. Baldrick's Foundation raises money for children diagnosed with cancer. Participants pledge to shave their heads and collect donations from family and friends supporting their efforts. The event started this year on campus and is hosted by Colleges Against Cancer.
This event came to Bryant because of my roommate this past summer, Dave Lash. He actually brought it here, and unfortunately he was diagnosed with cancer over the summer, and he wasn't able to see it through. But hopefully it'll become an annual event, and he'll be back next year, and he'll be able to see it as such a huge success that it is.
It's good. It's fun. It's for a good cause. St. Baldrick's Foundation for kids. The money's going somewhere good, and that's really all that matters.
The team plans to stay involved and participate each year, calling the new program Baseballed for a Cure. Well, the baseball team was able to raise $2,600 out of the $10,000 raised this past week by the Bryant community. Well, that's all we have for you today. I'm Nolan Thompson, and this is Bryant SportsCenter.
The football team celebrated a successful season at their annual banquet last Saturday night. Several players were recognized for their commitment on the field and to the team. With little surprise, Jordan Brown was given the Bulldog Award. Brown set 9 program records this year and led the entire FCS with 1,815 rushing yards while scoring 19 touchdowns. Brown was also named Northeast Conference Offensive Player of the Year, First Team All-NEC at running back and return specialist, and All-New England. Senior tight end Matt Tracy took home the Offensive MVP award. Tracy hauled in 40 catches for 500 yards and 8 scores. Tracy holds the program record for touchdown receptions and is just the second player in school history to surpass 100 career receptions. Tracy received First Team All-NEC and All-New England honors. On the defensive side of the ball, sophomore cornerback Jeremy Woodson reeled in defensive MVP honors. Woodson was the second team All-NEC selection in just his second season. Woodson was 6th on the team in tackles and hauled in 2 interceptions. He also had success on special teams, returning 20 kicks for 482 yards. Let's throw it to Vidith in the studio with Jordan Brown.
Hello, Bryant. With us today is Jordan Brown, junior running back for the Bryant Bulldogs. This past season, Jordan Brown had a record-breaking season this year with 329 carries for 1,815 yards and 19 touchdowns. Winner of the Bryant Bulldog Award, NEC Offensive Player of the Year, and chosen for the All-New England team, Brown had more yards this season than any other running back in college football. Thanks for joining us today, Jordan. So how does it feel to have the most rushing yards in the country?
It feels great. It's definitely an accomplishment that I've been wanting to definitely achieve. I'm not done yet. Our team isn't done yet, but it's just another checklist off throughout my college career. Look forward to trying to get in it again.
All right. So. Now talk about winning the Bulldog Award and the NEC Offensive Player of the Year.
It's a definite honor, especially the Bulldog Award, especially what it means to our program. Ever since I signed here, The Bulldog Award has gone to the most influential player, not necessarily the best one, but what it means to be about Bryant football. And the NEC Player of the Year, that's a definite respectable award. When I saw it, I smiled and I was like, fine. I was like, yes, a little bit of respect. But I mean, people, I don't think we need titles to know what each person is. There's a lot of great players around this league, and I definitely was, let's say, recognized as one of them. And I thank the NEC and the coaches for recognizing me with that award. So.
Right. With a 5-3 conference record, you guys have the most league wins in team history. How do you see the future of Bryant football as it takes its big step into Division I?
I see the future as very, very bright. Bryant football, ever since we've moved this Division I, has skyrocketed, and I don't see it ever coming down. We've recruited a lot of great players, continue to do it. We have excellent coaching. We have players that care, that buy into the system, that aren't all about themselves, which is excellent. We have kids that see winning as the #1 priority and not individual accolades. And basically, we have kids that just never quit. It's one of those things where you just gotta, especially when it's tied fourth quarter, kids that don't quit, kids that, you know what, we're gonna win this game. I have many examples of that this past season.
So a lot of the players have a lot of perseverance. Right?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Yes, that's one thing that we take pride on, is not quitting. We win the fourth quarter. That is our big motto. We win the fourth quarter. Nobody outworks us in the fourth quarter, and we won a lot of fourth quarters this year.
That you did. And in a recent interview with Bryant TV, you're quoted as being a playmaker, a game changer. Now, what happens when defenses alter their game plan to stop you?
It gets interesting because we have other playmakers on the field that they feel like they didn't know about, but they definitely did. Jordan Harris, which is a first-team All-NEC wide receiver. Matt Tracy, who was a senior this past year, first-team All-NEC tight end. Our quarterback, he necessarily didn't get any accolades, but he was the heart and soul of our team. And then you can't forget about our offensive line. They might not get all the flashy names and the names in the newspaper, but without them, there would be no Bryant football at all. All right, no Bryant offense, no top in the scoring, none of me. All right, none of that without.
Right,
them.
you need the offensive line to make those holes so you can run through them, right?
Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
Now, talking about Jordan Harris, we recently had him in an interview. Tell us a little bit about your role in his development. Would you consider yourself his mentor?
Not necessarily a mentor, but just a kid that he could just look up to. I mean, I actually was Jordan's host when he came on his recruiting visit.
Oh, really?
So I was actually one of the first people to meet him, and right from the start, we hit it off. He was an excellent kid. I recommended him, Coach Fine, for him to really recruit him and give him a scholarship for him to come here. And when he came into camp that first year, I never seen a kid with so much raw talent, and it was almost like an amazing thing. Like the catches he makes just makes so effortless, and it's like another stupid catch by Jordan Harris in practice. All right, and he'll laugh, he'll smile, and then in the game, he just does it again and again and again and again, and it's almost like teams do not respect it because they'll put one guy on him thinking that he's going to lock him up, and it does not happen. And I think with his season this past year and his breakout game in the Albany game, I think he'll get a little bit more respect next season.
I think a part of that is because they were so worried about you. Like a fan of yours once said, anyone who knows this kid will agree that he is a better person than a football player, and he's one heck of a football player. Now, who can you attribute your success to? Who's been the biggest influence?
My father, my dad, and my mom. But my parents, and just in general, my parents. But my father, I mean, obviously my mother didn't play football. But my dad, he's been on my behind ever since I came out the womb. It's just been an experience with him. We were getting fights every now and then at the high school games about I should have scored there, I shouldn't have slowed down. He'll text me. I'll get 15 texts at halftime at the games now about nice job here, nice cut there. I tell my coach Jarrell that I get I'll get 25 texts in the middle of the week after he'll watch the film of that last week's game, and he just is always staying on my behind because he knows what my number one goal is to get to. And then without him, it wouldn't be me. I mean, then my mother, she always keeps me level-headed. She's always the one to keep me humble. Always is the one that's always trying to make sure that I'm doing the right thing, not only on the field but off the field. Now her first question is, "How's school going? All right, you better be getting in the books or you won't have no football." All right.
Right. She's worried about your school. Your
Oh
life.
yeah, but that's any mother. All right, and my father's all about. I mean, he's obviously about school, but he's how's practice going? All right,
Right, so he's more of a man's man, a football guy.
All right,
and then your mom keeps you level-headed.
Yes.
Now, do you have any mottos that you go by, living your life by?
Mottos. I did put. Not really, but I did put this one in my high school yearbook, and it said, "Let your game speak," from Michael Jordan, one of his commercials, and it's almost like I'm a kid that I don't work well when people are yelling. All right, I like to stay calm, stay composed, keep my composure. There's no need to talk on the football field. All the talking does is get fights, get you out of your game. Let your game speak. Do what you got to do. All right, you keep scoring, you keep winning. They're gonna shut up eventually. So if you keep doing that, then you have no problems.
All right. Now, you had a great season this year, and next year is going to be your senior year. You're probably going to be captain. Do you have any aspirations after Bryant?
Well, my number one aspiration is to go to the NFL. Just plain and simple. That's been my goal ever since I've started realizing that football is going to be my sport. But the biggest thing about it was that each level that you go, you start understanding, like, my goal is starting to get closer and closer. And it's my last year of college ball, and it's almost like I see a lot of these rookies contributing to the NFL teams, and I'm sizing them up. They're not that much bigger than me. They're not that much faster than me. And it's like, well, my dream could come true. And that's what I want to do. I want to help Bryant get on the map by getting to the professional level. There has not been one Bryant football player to make it to the NFL. And my goal is to be the first one.
So you see that dream as actually becoming attainable?
Oh, yes.
But not like only a few years ago, junior year of high school, you had your ACL injury, which basically took you out of a couple of big name schools, like UConn, Virginia Tech. Take us through what you were feeling at that time.
I was feeling low. Felt like I had no care in the world. I didn't know any schoolwork. My grades dropped. I was a wreck. My mother was nervous because my dad was actually out of town a lot during that time. She was nervous. She didn't know what to do with me. I was not used to coming home at 2 o'clock. I used to come home at 6:30, 7 o'clock after practice. But then my dad came home with a calendar, and it showed each level 5 steps, and for me to get back. And ever since then, he brought that in. My whole mindset changed. I got back into the gym, personal physical training, and it took off from there. My trainer, Gino Carroll, took a lot of time and investment in me, and I credit all my knee injury and all that to him, Dr. Dugdale, Rich DeRosa, their whole orthopedic staff for getting me right and getting me back to where I was at, and I'm even a better player than I was before.
So you mentioned all of these people. How did you choose Bryant?
This is kind of a funny story. I've been coming to Bryant before I even chose to come to college. They used to have an offense-defense camp here at Bryant, and Coach Fine was the head man. And I told him one day, I was like, if I don't get big-name schools like USC, Georgia, those kind of schools, I was like, I would come here. This is before I knew about division. I thought every school was Division I. And me and Coach Fine haven't had a very solid relationship since I was in 7th grade. And when I had told him what had happened, he was like, you know what, don't worry about it. I know what you can do. He offered me a scholarship off the rip. And right after that, I was like, well, if a coach takes that much time and pride in you, and when he's not on your team, how much will he take when you are on his team? And that really meant a lot to me. And I didn't want to let him down, and I felt like that was my call. And God told me to go there. So that's why I went.
Wow. So Coach Fine really made an impact on you.
Oh yeah, he still does. He's a great coach. A lot of people don't. I mean, Coach Fine is an excellent man, more than a coach. He has a lot of great philosophies on life, and he teaches us not to be just men, but just to have something to play for something. All right. I mean, you're not just playing football just to play football. You're playing it to win. All right. And he teaches us to do that outside. All right. When we in school, when you're in finals, fight for every point. When you get in the job, fight for that interview. Be better than that next person, all right? Win your individual matchups.
So he really leads the team. Talk a little bit about your team chemistry. I hear that you do this event called Techno Tuesday. What is that?
It's each week we have each day we have a specified day on music. Mondays are our day off, so Tuesdays Techno Tuesdays, and that's when all the club music comes in, and the whole team just, if you came in our locker room and saw like just the camaraderie and how our team gels, you would just think like we call ourselves a big fraternity. All right, we just don't have a house, okay, but probably the biggest fraternity on this campus, and it's from all wide range. You got kids from Texas, California, Connecticut, Jersey, Florida, Illinois, Las Vegas, everywhere, and we all gel together. All right, they're all my brothers. All right, even the guys that graduated my freshman year that I really didn't get the chance to really spend time with, still my brothers. Even the guys that graduated I've never met before, when they come back to the Bryant football banquet, I say what's up to them, and I feel like I've played with them for 4 years. So Bryant football is a special thing.
That's great.
Special.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Jordan.
Appreciate it.
Good luck next season.
Thank you.
This is Vedith. Back to you.
Thanks, Vedith. And now let's take a look at some good plays. Bryant Center's Best of the Week.
Everyone's favorite segment.
Oh, yeah. Coming in at number 5, Corey Maynard hitting a 3 in the corner. What we want to look at is the passing on this one. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the fundamentals, kid. Pass the rock. 4-3.
Excellent teamwork by Bryant. Down the ice now, we'll see an excellent save from senior goalie Ryan Fullerton. How does Jack Edwards say it? Saved by Fullerton.
She's a beauty. Looking at it from another angle there. She's a beauty, that number 3. Coming from the women's game against URI, Katie Winnington from way downtown. I don't care what league you're in, that's a 3-point shot.
Excellent range there from the women's basketball team. Let's head back out to the ice. We're going to see Harry Jaquith centering the pass perfectly for Jerry Thieler. An excellent play on both ends. Perfect execution. Puts it in the corner. He just taps in. Doesn't get much easier than that.
Coming in at number 1, defensive clinic put on by Steph Cardamone. She's going to stop the drive here by URI. She's going to take the ball, and she's going to swag step it down the court, putting up the layup. She's going to miss, but then Nana Anacarpenenza is going to put in the layup, and that is your number 1 play of the week. Boy, were those some good plays.
Yeah, I mean, nice deal, excellent finish, and
yeah, that's the way you want to do it. Some fundamentals in the men's game as well, and they don't call it the best of the week for nothing.
That's for sure. That's for sure, and some excellent highlights from the hockey team.
Definitely.
So this is our last show for this semester. We hope everyone will catch us in the spring.
Yep. Be sure to watch us on Channel 68 or follow us on Facebook and Twitter at BU SportsCenter.
From the folks at Bryant SportsCenter, we'd like to wish you a happy holidays and a safe and happy winter break.